welcome to another episode of Friends, Facts, and Fiction. As always, this episode is made possible by our local convenience stores, the misappropriation of history, and you. And now to your hosts, Justin Hammonds, Grant Bramlett, and Drew Shellnut.
Oh, what's up? What's happening, world? This is Friends, Facts, and Fiction, Season 3 pre-show open up. Yeah, something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Show
Or
in-betweeners.
Season in-betweeners.
Yeah, season in-betweeners. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a little 20, 30-minute joint today. I'm Justin Hammonds. I'm looking at my boy Drew Shellnut.
That's me right there, man.
And my boy Grant Bramlett.
Hello, that is me.
Yeah, and we made it through. We're in this year. What's happening?
Yeah, man.
2021 started off with a fucking woof. Woof.
Started off with a bit more of a bang than 2020 did.
Yeah. We all are very aware about January 6th, I hope. I truly hope all those people get the justice served to them that they deserve, and they serve a lot of time.
Agreed.
Behind bars because they're fucking terrorists. It's
Correct.
Domestic terrorism at its peak. But I hope they all go to jail. And speaking of people going to jail, we're gonna have some funny stories about our time behind those walls and those times
And funny stories of
we
what
did.
sent people behind those walls.
Yeah. We got some stories from Florida, of all places. You believe that?
Yeah.
Florida.
No.
Man. Huh?
No. Don't believe you.
Florida, man.
I will say really quick, I was actually trying to find the article that I feel like we've seen. I don't know if it got pulled or maybe it wasn't totally real or whatever.
It blew my mind when I seen the headline. I don't know if it's real or not, but
So say that headline real quick.
so the headline that I seen was Florida man, age 37, arrested for kidnapping 27 people and forcing them to play Yahtzee for 36 hours straight. Bruh. Drew brought up a good point that meth was probably involved.
Yeah, no, I mean he was probably
or that flocka.
I'm sure he was like, "Hey guys," and he's like the only 27 people that he knew were just the meth addicts that he knew,
Right.
And like he was like, "Hey guys, I got like a key back at the house and some meth. You guys, want to come back? We'll have a meth party." And like they got there, and he was like, "Padlocks, Yahtzee, bitches."
Yeah, we doing Yahtzee, motherfucker. And if you Google, we can only find it on iFunny, so it's probably not real, but hilarious to say the least.
Funny all the same. But looking for it, it was just like, there's whole pages of like the top 20 like funny Florida man arrests articles or
of course.
whatever of this month. It's crazy
Yeah.
what's happening down there.
Yeah,
Or
as well.
what that state just allows to be published.
There's a thing where like
The sunshine laws, I think they call them.
yeah, like legit, you can search your birthday in Florida man and find something.
Ooh, that's a fun.
Yeah,
That's a
like
fun
you-
thing.
That's a neat
Like
game.
the date of your birthday, like the year and all that, in Florida man, and some shit went down.
Okay, so you
Legit.
guys play that game and email
pretty
us your
Yeah.
arrest
Yeah,
story.
Yeah.
for sure.
your
We'll
birthday.
feature the
That's
wildest
great.
one.
I wish
Yeah,
we'd have thought about that before.
Yeah.
We could have pulled up all of our birthdays.
Yeah, right.
I've still got time.
It's pretty crazy. I think mine was like a Florida man brings an alligator into a liquor store or some crazy shit.
That's a good one.
Which it sounds like some shit that I would do if I was in Florida.
That's
so.
just his pet.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, Drew, while you look up yours, I'm going to read off a couple that I found that I thought were hilarious. So, an Oak Hill community couple discovered a thief in their home Saturday after a man told a joke and heard laughter upstairs.
Killing them with the jokes, bro. That'd be a funny ass joke for you to give up your location in a fucking robbery.
I know, right? So there's no one. The police in Nigeria are holding a goat on suspicion of attempted armed robbery.
You said a goat.
I said a goat, my friend. Vigilantes seized the black and white goat, saying it was an armed robber who had used black magic to transform himself into an animal to escape after trying to steal a Mazda 323. A spokesman for the police in the eastern state of Kwara said, "The goat is in our custody. Vigilantes saw some hoodlums attempt to rob a car. One escaped while the other turned into a goat."
So is it like Baphomet, I guess? Is that what's going on there? It's like a goat man creature situation?
That's great.
Man, Florida be litty, my guy. Did you find your thing?
Yeah. While I read mine off, Grant, if you want to look yours up, that way. So mine is it's pretty great. So I was born on September the 8th, and I typed that in, and it says, "Naked Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Foreman grill." What? Baking cookies on a George Foreman grill? What is? How do you even do that? Apparently you don't. Apparently you burn your house down when you do that.
Bro. They're supposed to be like, the whole point is like safer cooking. How you burn your house down with a fucking George Foreman grill? Jesus Christ. Florida be lit, bro. I'm telling you, man. Shouts out to our listeners in Florida, man. Hope y'all safe out here.
Okay, so mine is Florida man arrested for having sex with miniature horse on multiple occasions.
Wow. Holy shit.
Wow.
Damn. Florida, man. Woof.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm from Alabama, but damn, Florida's. Woof.
Well, let's play all these lovely people a little tune.
Little tune.
Okay.
That fits their.
It's going to be fitting for getting out of jail or going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's from T Grizzly, and it's called First Day Out.
Bitch, but the money long as 6 mile, brick mile, knock your ox down, pick her up, knock her back down, pull her tracks out. Yes, I slap girl, yes, I slap dog, yes, I slap loud, yes, I slap a pussy nigga if he act out. Yes, I caught cases on the road with them killers, bro. Kill me if I snitch, cause if you snitch, I'm gonna kill you.
If you snitch, I'm gonna kill you.
Tell you, T Grizz, he recorded that the first day he got out of jail, and that freestyle like put him on. It got him famous. Honestly, he's been in like movies and shit now. Like he's a super interesting cat now. He's out of jail and like has got his fame and shit. Like he's doing dope shit for the community and all that. But T Grizz is dope, man. He's I guess a hood success story, like most rappers that actually do wild shit. Like, not the fakers, like people actually do the wild shit they talk about.
Right.
He's one of those cats. So I respect the homie. Obviously, it was his first day out of jail, so he was going in. He was obviously pissed at the world at that
You
moment.
can hear the angst.
I think he had something on his chest. He wanted to get off. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody snitched on him, and that's why he ended up in jail. Anyway,
Sure.
But the song relates.
I can see the anger. To be honest with you, I was just happy to be out.
Yeah,
I went to jail.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about going in is getting out.
Yeah.
Can honestly say that shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
I literally hugged a KFC sign
yeah.
and then spent more money than I had.
to get you into jail, you hugged the KFC sign?
That's a different story.
That's fucking wild.
I've never been to jail. These guys, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the wildest, the wild time, just like a story about being in, like, you know, I got, legal things that happened and ended up in a county, in Tuscaloosa County, for like a weekend. It was like, it's like 5 days. Something like
Yeah,
that.
you were there for about 5 days.
Almost like a week. I got out on preconditional release.
4 days?
4 or 5, something like
Doesn't
that.
matter. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, I got out on like preconditional release because I did the whole like, I'm just trying to do the right thing. Like, I was around the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so.
You don't even know how much textbooks cost.
Yeah, like, I'm not trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? So I pleaded that case super hard. You know what I'm saying? With my acting face on, because I'm actually a really good person. Anyway, so I get in there, and of course, there's always like that crazy person in the waiting area. You know what I'm saying? Before you actually get like booked and put in your cell and shit. There's always that one dude that's like, why are you being extra, bro? Like, we all in this motherfucker, like, whatever, dog. Like, you're not the biggest, baddest, or the craziest. You can just chill. Like, this is the waiting area. Like, this is just drunk tank, bro. Like, you ain't got to prove yourself yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and first of all, it's county, bro.
Yeah.
You're not going into the feds, my G. Like, it's pretty lax.
You haven't even dressed out yet, and you're not going to prison.
Yeah, it's pretty lax. You probably
Although
Huge difference between prison and jail, by the way.
Although unless you're in Alabama and Tuscaloosa, the Tuscaloosa County Jail is actually worse than any of the prisons they have. And I don't, like I said, I've never been to jail, nor will I tell a story here in a little while. But through process of elimination of talking to people that my friends knew that went to jail, you know?
What was their name? Shrew Delnut?
Larry, I think his name was.
Right.
Yeah, Larry dude.
This is a dude named Larry. I'm going to tell you stories about Larry. I'm not Drew, but Larry.
Larry's a crazy motherfucker, bro.
Okay. He is, yes.
Yeah, he's pretty well. But like when I was saying, like you say, like Tuscaloosa County is like the, I guess you say the playoffs if the federal penitentiary was like the championship.
Yep.
And the motherfuckers are about to go serve 20 or in that motherfucker Buck Diesel, like fucking like whatever. But funniest shit ever, bro. Like, so I get down to my block or whatever. And, you know, I'm doing like the basically just like sad walk of shame, like fuck, like I'm in this motherfucker. Like, you know, you get that like loss of like motivation or like creation in your mind drains and all that shit. Like you're going through this psychological, like, okay, I gotta fucking keep my head up and shit, all this bullshit. And so I get there and I get into my cell and like it's overpopulated because that's obviously a fucking problem. And it's a 2-bunk cell that I'm in, but it's 4 of us in that motherfucker. So I'm on the floor, the other homies on the floor.
Yeah.
2 homies, 2 older cats are in the bunks or whatever. And this one guy, he was like a young kid. He was like maybe 18, 19. And like he's trying to like, you know, prove that he's a gangster and shit. You know, how people try to act all real and shit. And this old head black dude that's like been there, done the shit, and served time before. He's like on his fucking 4th time in. Or
OG.
some shit. He's super lax. You know. And then it's this older white dude that's like country dude, but he's like cool with hood dudes, one of those type of cats. So we get to tossing around stories, and of course, you can always tell who's lying. You know what I mean? Because it's like the young dude's like, yeah, so I was in this like gunfight, and you know, they started busting. So shit, then I started busting, you know what I'm saying? Then the cops had pulled up. I tried to run, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't really get away, you know what I mean? So they got me. And like the old head black dude's like, oh yeah, damn, that's crazy. And just looked over at me and I was like, bro, I was just selling some weed. I don't know. I ain't got no story. I was like, I ain't got no story. And I'm like, so you know, he respected me off that. And then OG was just talking about how he's like used to sell cars and like the cars had shit in the fucking doors, had drugs in the doors, and all that type of shit. So he's career criminal. And the old white dude though, bro. He's like, look, this is my hustle. Listen, so I would make these birdhouses, right? And I would like go set up in these rich neighborhoods and I'd just be selling birdhouses, man. That's the hustle. That's what y'all need to understand. Just build some birdhouses and you can just make all this money building birdhouses. You know what I'm saying? And he kept doing all the days I was in there. He had a different story about a fucking birdhouse, bro.
So,
like,
was he arrested for not having a business license? I don't understand.
I still don't know why he was arrested. No bullshit. I had no idea why he was arrested the whole time. He just kept talking about
just nothing but birdhouse.
So you can even get like old used wood and build you a birdhouse. I'm like, word, bro, like word, nigga, like, and it's like, oh, white dudes keep talking about birdhouses, bro. Like, what the fuck is up with these birdhouses, dog? Like,
Y'all might want to take him to the psych ward.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck is up with these birdhouses, dog? Like, every time he started talking about them, like, me and the 2 black dudes in the cell just looking like, this nigga can't on this birdhouse shit. Like, what's up with these birdhouses? He's talking about the different paints you can do in different neighborhoods and like how certain women like, you know, certain styles of birdhouses. And I'm like, bro, what in the fuck is about these birdhouses? So literally, like, I have more knowledge about how to fucking hustle birdhouses now. Like, I guess, you know, they say it's like a college for criminals. It's jail and prison and shit. I got a whole fucking class.
Hell yeah, you had wood shop in that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, I feel like if he had like some scissors and like some fucking like faux wood, he could do some fucking birdhouses in jail.
I should have just taken some of them milk cartons, man. Could have made a lot of them.
Like, so I learned how to make some birdhouses.
And you know, COs are really, really like apt to listen to you. Number one,
Yeah.
and
they
they
love
really
you.
like buying stuff.
Yeah,
From
they
you,
love
too.
you.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love you in there. But
Very, very nice
that's-
people.
That's my
Oh, and the smartest.
that's my jail story. Fucking Birdhouse Jimmy, man.
That's awesome.
That motherfucker there was a trip.
So,
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty fresh out. Got out yesterday morning.
Fresh out the
You
boat.
wouldn't
we're
say T
recording
Grizzly first day out, would you?
I may say that, actually, yes.
Hey, also Gucci Mane has a track called First Day Out, and that shit slaps too. But anyway,
Yeah, fuck it. Full disclosure, got a DUI. It happens. We live in Nashville. It happens to most of us.
Right.
I had to do one of the oddest experience ever of checking into jail. Of just going.
you set an appointment to go.
Yeah,
basically.
So
Yeah.
I called around and like, it was kind of weird right now because of COVID and I'm trying to figure out where I need to go. And then it was just like, I just go in where they told me. And it was like, hello, one jail, please.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Will that be 2 nights or 3?
So you're doing a 2-night, 3-day, or
yeah. And it was like, okay, sign your name right here and put the time that you're in. It's 10:23 a.m. right now. And I'm like, oh, all right, this is weird. And I'm like, okay, and go sit over there. And I was like, all right. So I'm just sitting in this fucking chair, and then a CO comes out. Again, lovely, lovely people. Excellent bedside manner on them, He goes out, Bramlett. Yeah. Come with me. Oh, all right. And then she was like,
do you hate your job or do you hate me for making
Being
you
here.
work?
Yeah, I
like,
don't know, such
know
an
why
odd
y'all got
thing.
such a bad fucking.
So,
I guess
you
people
know,
are crazy though.
It's true.
You know,
And they
motherfuckers are crazy.
And I will get there. But, go through one of the big steel doors, whatever. And then they do that thing where, like, you're supposed to be in front of them. Because I guess I have enough people have attacked them. I get it, But go through the doorway. It's like first on the left. And I was like, okay. And I'm coming around, and there's a door on the left. No, sorry. There's a hallway and then a door, like right next to each other on the left. So I'm like, did she mean the hallway or does she mean the door? Those two different things. And so I kind of like halter. She said, I said first on the left. And I was like, hallway? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, all right. So I go through. I sit in like the drunk tank waiting room kind of a thing. So I get my entertainment is people that are being checked into jail against their will, unlike me.
Yeah, right.
The motherfuckers that they just snatched up out the streets, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's fine.
For 9 hours, I was sitting in that room before they dressed me out. So I could go
Jesus.
lay down.
That
Yeah.
sounds like my Vandy waiting room.
Get this
situation.
shit. I get through. They dress me out and everything, and I'm one of the weekenders, as they call people that do the 48 hours. Some people have a lot of weekends they have to serve. Literally, 20 was one guy had to go in per day. 20 weekends. He works Monday through Friday. When he gets
then
off
goes
of
to
work
jail.
on Friday, he goes to jail, and they let him out on Sunday, and then he goes back to
For
work
20
on Friday.
weeks.
20 weeks.
Damn, bro.
Isn't that crazy? Anyways,
You just
I'm
get used to
talking-
not having a weekend. Just like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
get you a book and read you a book.
I'm
for
talking
2
to some of the
days.
other weekenders.
Literally half of a year.
Yeah,
I'm
damn near.
talking to some of the weekenders, and they were like, man, I'm glad they're getting us back early tonight. And I'm like, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Like, yeah, normally it's like 3 a.m. Like, what?
You sit in the drunk tank till 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Hey, people don't know the drunk tank is just cinder block walls and a cement fucking bench. Like,
Yeah.
that's the wrap up on
And
that.
well, mine was fancy because we had chairs.
Oh, shit.
And
Yeah,
a
chairs.
TV.
Holy fuck,
I
look
had
at this.
BET on. I watched Medea Goes to Jail twice.
Unfortunately, I know the tank you're talking about, and I know the tank you're talking about too.
Yeah, it's true. You did.
Larry knows.
Larry. Yeah,
Larry
I don't know
knows the
shit.
tank. Yeah.
So my entertainment was BET and some of the people that were being forced to be there. One guy, not really sure what was going on with him, but he ate like 5 at least of those really shitty bologna sandwiches that they gave you. And seriously, he kept going back up to the little stand where they have their computers and stuff. It's like, I could get one more of those sandwiches. They're like, how many have you had? Here, take one. Go away. Leave me alone, kind of a thing. So he would be like eating on his sandwich, like, yeah, and he was like right behind me, So I'm listening to this asshole all fucking day. And then he would go in between that, and then he would take a nap where he takes his jacket and just puts it over his head in the front half of his body. And I glanced back at one time because he's making some really weird sounds. He had both of his hands all the way down his pants, and I'm assuming underwear too. A lot of hand motion going on and a lot of really uncomfortable sounds. And I was like, why is nobody putting him in the little like single unit
private?
cells?
Like, hey, go over there.
Let
bro.
him go do his thing.
Yeah,
put
him on suicide watch, please.
They didn't mind him at all.
Uh,
Somebody they did mind though was screaming a lot when he was being pulled into the main hallway from the cop car to get in there, making so much noise
Like
that
hearing from outside, basically.
all of the CEOs went over to bring him in. So there was 6 of them, and this one little bitty dude. He had these 4 huge dreads that were like wrapped in fabric and had all sorts of crazy shit all in them and everything. And then these tiny little 3 like dyed red, teeny tiny dreads that were like maybe an 1.5 inches long, right at the front of his forehead, just poking up.
That's
And it was
a
just-
grand wizard, if you will.
I mean,
a fucking tripping
was-
wizard.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just, I mean, he had like 3 hoodies on, a jacket, a scarf as a belt, huge boots with no laces.
This motherfucker is a fucking acid trip person, just like he is an acid trip.
And just yelling and dancing, and like they're trying to like get him to take his shit off, and he's like fighting at him, but then kind of dancing it away. You know what I mean? He'd like throw a punch, but then like turn that into a dance move. You know?
it's called an optical illusion.
And
Hey guys, it's Drew Shellnut with Friends, Facts, and Fiction. I'm here with my 2 other co-hosts, Grant Bramlett and Justin Hammonds.
Hey.
We are here to inform you on our podcast platform, Anchor.fm. Number 1, it's very easy to use because it's free. Also, if you're trying to create your own podcast, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and many more. You can make money from your podcast as well with minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place, Anchor.fm.
This fucker is Aladdin gone bad.
And it was, I mean, I swear, dude, it was just like N-word this, N-word that. Y'all don't even know. Fuck you, N-word, N-word. I mean, it was just, he was just nonstop.
He's out there with it.
Running his mouth. They finally get everything taken care of and take all of his shit other than his clothes away from him, standard procedure, and immediately put him in one of the single cells.
Because you
that's
rambunctious.
there. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But they let him keep his cash. Thought that was weird. So he gets led into
That is odd.
with his cash, and there's a window, right, that they can see out, and the COs more importantly can see in to make sure they're not
hurting
themselves. Yeah. And his window was directly below the TV I was watching.
Oh, that's great.
And so when it was on commercial, I got to watch this guy.
Nice.
Who was just dancing in front of the window, making it rain with his money.
Throwing cash at.
And then he would bend over to pick up his money again. And then he would pop back up in the window with the money in his mouth, just waggling his head with those 3 little red dreads just bouncing around.
That's amazing.
So
What
great.
the fuck,
It was
bro?
so great.
Yeah.
And then a little later, a guy came in. He was about my height, had probably like 20, 30 pounds on me. Bigger guy. Fair amount of it was muscle. He's like one of those like country strong guys, you know.
Pull
He
a
was
tractor out of a hole looking ass motherfucker.
clearly very fucked up, but he was very pleasant. He was cracking jokes. One of the COs saw his, I think it was a Seahawks tattoo that he had, and said something about like, you're in Nashville, we're Titans fans here. I'm a Seahawks fan. Ha ha ha, football. And he's drunk enough though, they put him in the single cell next to Mr. Festy, making it rain guy.
Don't take the brown acid looking motherfucker.
Yeah. They put him in there. The second they close that door behind him, his whole demeanor changes. It goes, he's just fucking screaming for 2 hours straight. Seriously. I was kind of clocking it based off of the TV.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Of course.
And I mean, just like pounding on the door and screaming just constantly. He never, ever stopped. And they didn't give a fuck. It was crazy.
Like,
They're literally
yeah.
just
He's
sitting
just
there on their
adjusting.
computer, and everybody in the drunk tank is like, is somebody gonna? No, you're not.
Nobody gonna
You
do
don't,
shit about this
you don't
dude.
care.
Having a
Okay.
mental
What about
breakdown.
This guy. And yeah, and they have to check the doors every now and again. So they walk by and they look in, you know, and they look directly at the guy and then keep moving, and that just spurs them on even more.
Of course,
you
of
know,
course.
made no shit. They did not care.
I think it might be
all.
some claustrophobia going on there. Maybe. They
Maybe.
put him in a tiny room and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, maybe so.
Who knows?
Also, Drug's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, you know, it
Yeah,
is.
they start to take effect at any time. Remember, kids, you can always take less. I mean,
Yeah.
you can never.
You can never take less than what your nose can handle. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
you can't untake what has been took.
There you go.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like the Indian giving of drug use.
Right.
You can always take more. You can never take less. That's what I
I think he means moderation is key, folks.
Yes. If you dabble in the drugs,
But then I got to
I
put
don't
on
suggest
some,
dabbling in the drugs.
I got to put on some orange scrubs, and then I read and slept for 2 days.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of drugs, and Segway, yeah, and as I've said before, people look really goofy on those, and they're too expensive. But
We never did the off-roading Segway episode.
yeah, stuck in the mud. Should have called it that. But anyway,
Yeah, that's happening.
yeah, that's definitely
It's happening now, yeah.
So Larry, this guy I know,
Yeah.
he had been arrested once before in Tuscaloosa.
Sorry to interrupt, Drew. Just to clarify, Drew and Larry have never met.
No,
Friends of Drew
But
are
they've
pretty,
never been in the same room at the same time.
They haven't.
no,
That's true.
that's not.
But friends of Drew know Larry quite well.
Yeah,
All right, sorry, continue.
yeah, okay. So we'll lead off with that.
It's a riddle for you.
Yeah, right.
Can you
So-
figure it out?
So Larry gets a public intox when he's in Tuscaloosa. He actually used to live in Nashville too, and his grandmother passed. His great grandmother passed. So he went back to Tuscaloosa to go, be with the fams and such. And let's cut the shit. It's me. So I go back. I'm tired of saying he. I go back and drink about half a handle of Bird Dog whiskey.
It's just delicious.
Blueberry.
Dangerous. It's dangerous, but it's delicious.
Yeah, and I'm just talking, letting it get away from me, and talking. My sister calls me and was like, "Hey, you want to meet me at X bar?" And I'm like, "Yes, I want to meet you there." So I meet her there, and continue to drinkulate too much. And somebody walks up to me and is like, "Hey, man, here, open your hand." I'm like, "What?" I open my hand. He puts a Klonopin in it, and I'm like, "I am too fucked up for this shit." So I put it in my pocket.
Good for you.
And my sister and I and
Yeah.
my adolescent best friend are drinking and stuff, and like, yeah, and my sister just disappears. Boy, and so does my memory. But she disappears, and I was gonna get a ride back to the where I was staying from her, and instead I get a ride back from this dude that used to be one of my good buddies. I'm like, "Hey man, can you take me home?" And he's like, "Yeah, for sure." So I'm not driving. Smart decision. Get to the house that he drops me off at. Well, my mom owns this house, but doesn't live there anymore and hasn't lived there for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she's renting it to someone. And I show up at this house, and I'm so gone. Mind you, still have not taken that Klonopin, just that drunk. Show up and knock on the door. And this big-ass dude comes to the door, and he's like, "Hey, man, you got to get the fuck out of here." And I'm like, "Oh, shit, you're not my real dad." And so I walk over to the next house, which is just so happens to be the neighborhood watch lady's house. And she's got a beautiful array of rose bushes in her front yard, and I just fall into them. And I'm sure that felt good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure Larry could tell you, but I don't know. Yeah, so I fall into these rose bushes to be woken up by the popos going, "Hey," and I'm like, "What's good?" And I come to in said drunk room. And
The
pink
one.
room.
Yeah, the pink one. Been there.
And
It's pink down there.
and it's actually pink. And so I'm sitting on this one concrete slab in this like 25-degree room with no underwear or socks and this orange jumpsuit on, because if you don't know, you should wear whites if you go to jail, because they'll take the others from you. And so
And you get to wear those old state
yeah,
joints. That's been
yeah,
through
so you
all
get
kind of
like
asses.
cardboard cloth on your butthole and your ding dang.
Yep.
And
you
your
don't know who wore
respective
those before
areas,
you.
and they don't clean that shit very
And to
well.
reiterate, it is cold.
It's
they
very
are
cold.
all cold. I don't understand.
You don't
why
want to
it's
go to
so
jail, kids.
damn
No,
cold.
you don't want to go to jail. So I go in, sit in the pink room for like 12 to 14 hours, something like that. They finally, because I had to pass the breathalyzer before I could go back.
Exactly.
Well, I passed it enough to where they took me back.
Okay.
And
So,
like,
we got to get this motherfucker out of here.
They're like, come on, man. There's like been 3 or 4 different fucking waves of people, and he's still in there like, hell yeah, I can walk a line. And like, motherfuckers, I can't walk a straight line when I'm sober. But anyway, they take me back there, and as soon as I walk in, and mind you, Larry has a prior. So I walk in, like waking up in jail, like, oh no. And so I walk in, and as soon as I walk into this place, the different sects, and yes, it is segregated like a motherfucker, and especially in Tuscaloosa. I've been to one in Nashville, but in Tuscaloosa, yeah, it's very well segregated. And so I walk in, and so the black guys are over here, the white guys are over here. There are no Mexicans. It's just white guys and black guys, and then like a couple people asleep that just don't associate with either, which are these white dudes laying there that it doesn't matter, not part of the story. I walk in, and honestly, like they have like these little notepads or whatever that, you know, like you can have a notepad or whatever, like keep up with like scoring on playing cards and shit like that.
Yeah.
They start writing shit down as soon as I walk in, and I had long hair at this point, and they had taken my ponytail holder out, so I had this like ratty, stringy looking hair, and I come walking in, still half drunk, and about 15 minutes after the CO leaves, this big ass black dude walks up to me. He's like, heroin. And I went, excuse me? And he was like, heroin. And I was like, what? My name's Drew, bro. And he was like, nah, you ain't here for heroin, ain't you? And I was like, no. I woke up here pretty much. I'm pretty sure I was just drunk. Yeah. And he was like, God damn. And like walks off. And another dude walks up, heroin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then this little redneck walks over and is like, hey, man, heroin or meth? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And honestly, at this point, I weigh...
They done bet on you, bro.
So I weigh like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I weigh $165 soaking wet at this point. Right now, I weigh about 180. But I weigh about $165, and I'm 6'1", so I was a little string bean looking dude. And...
Kurt Cobain looking ass.
Don't do that. He's dead for a reason. But anyway,
you know, Drew loves Nirvana.
Yeah, bastards. But anyway, I talked to all the, and apparently made everybody lose their bets because they thought I was fucked up on heroin.
Yeah.
And they were all, like you said, taking bets. This white boy's on heroin.
Bro, entertainment comes at really, really fucking small. Everything's a bet.
Yeah.
Like, everything's entertainment in jail.
So yeah, I disclaim all of that, and they get all kind of pissed off. I'm like, no, man, like I just this, and I would go in the next morning to go do my little in jail trial. To see actually what happened, because I don't fucking remember.
Talk to the judge and shit.
Yeah. And you know, I sit down, and the little judge lady's sitting there, and she goes, Mr. Shellnut? And I'm like, what am I looking at here? Mm-hmm. And she goes, you got a PI? And I went, yes! And she goes, what? And I was like, there ain't no D before that P or U in there, so I'm good. And she was like, yeah, but we're popping you with a felony charge. And I went, for? And she was like, you had a Klonopin. And I went, but I didn't take it. Mm-hmm. She was like, what, it was on your person? And you knew you had it. And I was like, yeah, someone gave it to me at the ass end of the night, and I just remember putting it in my pocket because I was drunk. I'm not taking that shit. And she goes, oh, okay, well, then no one cares. We're going to hit you with a felony.
Yeah, of course.
So I sit in jail for 8 days, and it's fantastic. You guys got to try it. It's a really good weight loss program. If you're anything like me,
it's true.
You'll only drink the milk, which is all I did for 8 days. So I had 3 meals a day at 120 calories per meal, which when I walked out of there, I looked like fucking Skeletor. And but that's also neither here nor there. But speaking of drugs, that like I opened this segment up with my story, I learned a whole lot of different slangs for drugs that I didn't know. Like apparently spice in jail was called Wet Lucy. And this dude was like, hey man, you want somebody to Wet Lucy? And I went, y'all got some wet acid in here? Shouldn't you probably take that really quick before it like dissolves or something? And he's like, what the fuck acid is? And I was like, oh, no. Like, Lucy is acid. And he was like, no, I don't know. Fuck you smoking, but Lucy ain't acid. And I was like, yes, it is. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. This shit's been around longer than you've been alive. And he was just like, no. So Wet Lucy is apparently something. The same night that I learned Wet Lucy, I learned how to name rats. So in Tuscaloosa County Jail, there are at least four rats that I know by name now. That would come out when they would put everybody lockdown. You're in your dorm. You're at dorm. Jail cell. Yep. With 4 people when it's supposed to be 2. So there's 2 of you on the floor. My head was under the toilet. So it was really nice, really neat. Exfoliating.
Been there, my guy.
Yeah. Really good smells. You wake up 3 o'clock in the morning right before they open the doors 30 minutes later to a nice butt cheek in your face with some. But anyway, so I got to name rats. The one that I got to name was Dump Truck. I shit you not. This rat had to weigh 15 pounds. He's bigger than my cat Sonny.
Damn, that's real.
No shit. Crawled up out from under somewhere. And they were like, and my head was beside the toilet and beside the front door. And they were like, hey, man, you want to put something under that door? And I was like, why? And he's like, because that rat will come in here. And I was like, oh, hell no. That goes through. I wake up the next day, go to the water fountain. This is on day like 4. Go to the water fountain. I get a tap on my shoulder while I'm drinking water. Hey, white boy, you ever been victimized? Number one, for all you that don't know, I was sexually molested as a child. So when someone says, have you ever been victimized? That sets something off in my head like, oh, no, sir. No. Without looking at him or anything, I said, no. Turned around and I said, you ever had your ass whooped by a 160-pound white boy? And he just, little bitty dude, too. He was probably your height and like skin and bones. Like, so not trying to, or not being racist or anything. You just call me white boy. I'm going to turn around and be like, you ever had your ass whooped by a black boy? Turn around, did that. And he just goes, respect. And I went, respect? Respect doesn't walk up behind you and ask if you've been fucking victimized, motherfucker. Yeah. But there was a dude sitting behind him that was the pod leader. OG, OG. Old head, sitting in there.
I was honestly like, I wouldn't say I was lucky to have OG in my cell.
Oh yeah, I was too. Because OG looks at him and goes, "Hey," and he turned around. He was like, He was like, "This one's a good one." Yeah. And so the rest of the 3-4 days that I'm sitting in there, I'm fine. I was taken care of. They took care of me. It's like real, seriously.
Man. Politics and jail is serious.
But the day 7 or night 7, they bring this fucking almost 7 foot tall white dude in there. Looked like he just got pulled up out of a swamp. Crazy neck tats, weird looking, all prison tat looking shit. But he just like super white trashy looking. Walks in there, and while they're pulling him in there, he is hitting them in the face, and they ain't doing shit about it because they're so scared.
Damn.
They had apparently, and so they had pulled him from Greene County and brought him to Tuscaloosa, and apparently Greene County wasn't hard enough for him, so they had to move him to Tuscaloosa County, which is kind of weird. If you guys don't know, Greene County is a pretty podunk area in Alabama, but this guy comes in there, and about 30 minutes later, he starts like turning green and like about to throw up. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And he was talking about how like in Greene County, the guys that he was getting his drugs from had given him a balloon with Coke in it. And he ate the balloon and it burst in his stomach. 30 minutes after he got to jail, and they rushed him to DCH.
Yeah.
Damn.
They fixed him up and everything, but he got to sit for like, one of the guys that I knew that got out after I did, like, he sat there for another like 5 days in the ICU.
Damn.
That's crazy.
And came back and started a riot.
Yeah.
Came back. Well, I mean, he was trying to start a riot when they put him in there. When they shut the door, like I said, he was hitting the COs in the face and shit, and they weren't doing anything. Because, I mean, he's a lifer. He murdered somebody. So his mentality is, I don't give a fuck what goes on. Like, you ain't gonna fuck with me.
I'm going to be here regardless.
Literally, they shut the door. He takes his fucking shirt off, wraps it around his hand, takes his socks off, wraps it around his other hand, and goes, "You boys ready?" And we're like, oh, shit. And about half of the motherfuckers in a 20-person block, 60 of us were in there, crammed in. Yeah. Half the motherfuckers stood up and just started going, oh, my God. And here I am getting out the next day. I'm getting out the next day going, come on, guys. Come on, guys.
It's okay.
Single file line over here. Can we get the nays? I'm part of the nays. Can we please not?
Can we just get along, guys? Listen, TLC's on the TV. Look at that. Look at that.
So yeah, I get out the next day. I was supposed to get out that day, but I get out the next day because the judge decided not to send my paperwork through that day.
That's fun.
So I had like a ride lined up and everything. They sat out in the outside all night.
Oh, wow.
And had to go home and come back the next day. They came back the next day, sat another 4 hours, and then went home again. So I get out to nothing. And I start walking down 15th Street and get all the way down to, hell, it was like by Central High School. My fiance now came and picked me up, but a little bit of a fun time. And that's the 1 out of 1.
Yeah, 1 out of 1, bro. This is 1 out of 1. 1 out of 1.
I mean,
1 out of 1. Yeah. Crazy life, man. That's just a little look into our personal experiences. Like I say, we all got some crazy stories. Between us three, we could just do like stories about our lives every episode.
It could be a podcast.
We can do shit for like 5 years, which is our stories. But don't go to jail. But I hope every one of those motherfuckers on January 6th gets a nice visit for a few years.
They deserve it.
Years.
Yeah.
They deserve to go in there and kick it with.
They're over 100 on arrest for it so far.
And that's
a lot
saying
more to go.
because it really sucks there. But they deserve it.
They deserve to kick it with old Birdhouse Jimmy and old Dreadhead Crazy and old
and Larry.
7-foot motherfucking
balloon swallower.
They need to go kick it with the motherfuckers.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we're just doing a nice little in-betweener episode. The next season 3, is going to be all about psychology.
A journey into the mind.
Yeah, into the brain and how we think about stuff. Like orientation and serial killers and cults and fucking all that wild jazz. But yeah.
Colts like the football team?
Yep. Exactly right.
Or no, not like the horsey. Like the horsey, like
something like that.
I like horses.
And if you have any inquiries or any crazy stories that you want featured in the podcast or, things that you want to say to us, email us at friends.facts.fiction@gmail.com. And, don't forget to give us that 5-star review on Apple and follow us on Spotify and all that good shit. We love y'all. Hope y'all are doing good. And congrats on making it through 2020 because that shit was wild. I'm Justin Hammonds, and I'm saying love, live life because it's worth living, y'all.
And I'm Drew Shelnut, and I'm saying keep your head out of your ass and look forward.
Boom.
Very good. Grant Bramlett here. Never liked you. Always loved you.
Once again, this is Friends, Facts, and Fiction. We out.
Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the next episode. Find us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Friends, Facts, and Fiction. Our Instagram handle is friends_facts_fiction. As always, please reach out to us. You can send any of your questions, praise, and fact-checking to friends_facts-fiction@gmail.com. It's important to us to only propagate the truth, and we will correct any errors we may have made. This has been a production of Friends, Facts, and Fiction.